All right, now, today's topic, FBTV topic of the day. This part of the video is going to be posted on YouTube, so I will introduce myself to you folks on YouTube. My name is Mike. I am the host of the FBTV Insider. It's a podcast. You can find us on your favorite podcasting app. And yeah, if you've been wondering where we've been, because we were back in January last month, kind of said this is the beginning of this podcast. You know, we were trying to do a couple of these a week. I came down with coronavirus. And it pretty much knocked me back on my butt for about 2 weeks. And yesterday put up audio podcast, audio only. And today's our first video podcast. If you'd like to hear the audio podcast, use your favorite podcasting app, Freight Broker TV. If you're watching our videos here on YouTube, we appreciate it. Down below, ring the bell, subscribe, add a comment if you wish. If you have questions, obviously, feel free to ask, because we do recognize questions and answers and do Q&As occasionally. Matter of fact, probably in the next video, we're going to have a Q&A video. But I am the lead consultant for Taltoa. If you are interested in becoming a freight broker agent, we always recommend starting out as a freight broker agent. We got a video on our website. Matter of fact, there's a YouTube video posted here. You know, where to begin, freight broker agent. It's about a 30-some-odd minute webinar we did here a while back. That really goes into detail. If you've been thinking about it, people have been urging you, because usually that's what happens. A lot of people will say, hey, man, you ought to become a freight broker. You're going to be good at this. You're going to work from home. You're going to be independent. It's going to be your business. Even as a freight broker agent, it's your business. And, yeah, your income potential is unlimited, but don't let somebody lead you down the yellow brick road by telling you that. Understand, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a commission-based business. It doesn't matter if you're a broker or a broker agent. You're making a commission from every load you move. Okay. Discussed that earlier in the podcast. Matter of fact, in the beginning, may even cut that up and make that a video as well for YouTube, short for YouTube. But something else, too. I've been debating on whether to even talk about this. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been in bed most of the time. I had a chance to watch a lot of videos. A lot of these people that are posting these freight broker videos. And one thing I noticed is a lot of them almost put clickbait on their title, but they never really answer the question that the title indicated they were going to answer. And I scratch my head on that. And there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, it's some of these people should be politicians. I mean, the information, I'm not saying the information they're giving is wrong. It just made my head spin a little bit, because why are you making something so simple so difficult? You know, that is what it is. So watch the videos. You know, watch them. If you've got questions, feel free to call me. You can call me right there. Well, there it is, right there. That number, 479-668-0838. Visit our website at taltoa.com, taltoa.com. FBTV is, I'm the lead consultant at Taltoa, and happy to answer any questions you may have. You know, people ask all the time, hey, what separates you from everybody else? Well, first of all, we're not a school. We're not a quote-unquote school. We are a consulting firm. Taltoa is a consulting firm. Matter of fact, Taltoa originally was an acronym for Transportation and Logistics Training of America. Years ago, when we first started, we just called it Taltoa, Taltoa. And we did away with the transportation logistics just because Taltoa became pretty much a brand of its own. You know, it stood stand on its own 2 feet. We've been around for 2 decades, more. But Yeah, if you got questions, you want to know more about becoming a freight broker agent, check the website out. Call me. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. Okay, today's topic, freight quotes, bids. I talk about this with my clients all the time. And maybe up until, I don't know, about a year or so ago, it wasn't a big deal. But about a year ago, had a client or a customer, a potential, they weren't even a customer yet, and that really came after an agent, big time, about a rate quote, a bid, so to speak. They weren't even a client. They just, hey, what kind of rate are we looking at for a load like this? All right. And they came unhinged. They weren't set up with the brokerage yet, first of all. Their credit was not even approved. They knew this when they asked for a rate. Just because you ask for a rate does not mean you're going to get a truck for that rate or from that brokerage, not until you get approved. There's not a brokerage on the planet that's going to get you a truck if you're not going to pay. If you can't, your credit's no good. Okay, that's number one. But this is the only time in my 30 years in transportation I have ever seen this happen. But since then, it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And since then, I've been training our clients. Okay, if somebody wants a quote or a bid, first of all, if they want a quote, all right, you can calculate the rate. Okay, calculating rates isn't that difficult. You've just got to have the tools to do it. And obviously, we go in depth about that. Matter of fact, the training sessions, part 2, is where we're going to start working with rates. You're going to have access to the rate tools and things like that, and you're going to be doing a lot of rates. How to calculate a shipper rate per mile, because all rates start with a shipper rate per mile. Part 3, we take it one step further, but anyway, we're talking about quotes today. Now, whenever you calculate the rate and you go back to your potential customer, always present it as an estimate. Go back to your customer. Mr. Customer, from what the market is doing currently, our best estimate to move that load is going to be this much. That way they can't come back on you. You see what I'm saying? You're covering your backside. You're not promising anything. Because especially if you're a new broker agent, whatever, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to get a truck. Unless you absolutely know you've got a truck waiting that can haul that load. And as a broker, generally you're not going to know that. That's not saying you may not know that over time, that you built up relationships with different carriers where you can pick up the phone and call one. But that comes in time. It doesn't happen overnight. Part of being a freight broker, a successful freight broker, is giving yourself the time to succeed. I tell this to everybody. You don't just start brokering today and start making $100,000 a year tomorrow. It takes time. You can build up to that point where you're making that kind of money, but it takes time. How much time? Everybody's different. Everybody's different. I've had clients, 30 days later, they were out there making $1,000 a week as an agent. I've had other clients 3 months later, barely getting one customer, and that just tells me they're not working. Okay, it's that simple. Got some interesting news coming from Taltoa here in the next few weeks, maybe days. But I'll tell you this, I get on the phone and I could have customers in minutes. I could have loads to work in minutes. Getting customers is the easy part about brokering, but anyway, that's for another video. Or training. There you go. Okay, so we went to the customer and we said, okay, from what the market conditions are, what it looks like, our best estimate to move that load from point A to point B, it's going to cost this much. That way you're not committing. It's not committal. You're putting a number out there, and they can say, oh, man, I don't want to pay that much. Well, see if you can get me a truck. That's what you're looking at. You don't want to commit to a load unless you know you've got a truck or you know you're going to be able to get a truck. Now, you may be saying, well, how do I know if I'm going to be able to get a truck? Long story short, experience. Okay. All right. Now, what about bids? People always ask me about this. The customer wanted me to give them a bid. Okay, first of all, a bid is code for give me your cheapest rate to move this load. We're not in this for cheap. Come on, folks. Let the trucking companies go cheap if they want to. We're in this realistically. Give them a realistic rate. If they want to bid, give them a realistic rate. All right? Now, approach it the same way. You know, Mr. Customer, yeah, you wanted to bid for this load. From what we've checked out, our best estimate for this bid would be this much. You know, you're using that word estimate. That way there's, you know, there's no coming back and say, okay, yeah, you know, give me a truck. Now what are you going to do if you can't get one? But anyway, like I said, bid is code for give me the cheapest rate you can. Understand, whatever, you've got to pay a truck to move that load. So there's got to be enough money in the truck to where you as the broker can make money and still have enough money to attract a carrier. You know, I know trucking companies are complaining all the time about rates, broker rates being so low. Realistically, what's happening here, not saying that every broker's like this, but more times than not, what's actually happening is the shipper. You know, the shipper is giving the broker the rate they're going to pay. You know, we're paying this much. Get me a truck for this much. That's usually how it's going on. Going around, like yesterday I talked to a customer. They had a load going 258 miles, and they said, okay, we're paying $12.50. Okay. That's what they're paying. That's what the broker had to work with, was that $12.50. Okay. So anyway, neither here nor there, but that's it. Quotes and bids, okay, call them estimates. Give them an estimate. You know, because you've got to have enough money from in that load to be able to pay a truck. You know, you may win the bid, but if you don't have enough money in that load, that customer's not paying you enough, you're never going to get a truck to move that load. See what I mean? So think about that. All right, that's today's topic. Again, Freight Broker TV. We are the FBTV Podcast. Hear that on your favorite podcasting app. If you got questions about working as a freight broker agent, visit our website, Taltoa, TALTOA.com. Or you can call me, 479-668-0838.